left behind. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Kumi Tucker. Parts of the capital region are cleaning up today after severe storms came through the area. A horse trainer says the storms were so bad, the track had to cancel the last 5 races. Dan Bazil has that story.
Some tree limbs and downed power lines in parts of Saratoga Springs kept National Grid crews very busy throughout the day.
We had about 56,000 people without power across the state, so they were pretty severe storms that kind of moved through the area.
Gary Contessa, a horse trainer for Contessa Stable, says the storms came through in waves yesterday, and they were pretty brutal in and around the Saratoga racecourse. They got slammed at about 4 o'clock, then again at 5 with the sun coming up in between.
And then last night about 7 o'clock, it was like it just broke loose. And I mean, it was like almost tornado caliber, and it came down for an hour and a half, 2 hours.
The last 5 races at the track had to be canceled. Contessa says with so much rain, the track can become uneven and unsafe.
Even though it really had to be painful for management, it was a good call because it was, you know, it's all about protecting the participants, the jockeys and the horses.
Horses are supervised around the clock. With the power outage, crews had to improvise, using high beams in their cars to light up the barns and take care of the horses. By daybreak, most of the tree limbs and damage around the barns were cleaned up. Contessa says it was an interesting night.
I came here immediately to watch what was going on, and every horse in this barn was cool, calm, and collected. Claps of thunder, bolts of lightning hitting, but these horses handled it really well.
National Grid says the damage was scattered throughout Saratoga, Warren, Washington, and Columbia counties. They have dozens of crews working on storm restoration.
We're really trying to replace poles and get limbs off of our poles and replace down lines and things like that as fast as possible.
In Saratoga Springs, Dan Bazil, News Channel 13.
Cleanup is wrapping up in Caroga Lake, where a severe storm devastated a private campground and music festival. The storm tore through the area around 6 o'clock last night, and strong winds took down many trees and power lines, knocking out phone service to the area. 8 people were taken to the hospital. Caroga Lake Fire Chief Barbara DeLuca described a chaotic scene last night.
Well, there were people running all over the place. Everybody was looking for their children, their spouse, their family members. There were trees down everywhere. There were branches all over the place. There were wires down. It was a real mess.
Fulton County officials say there were around 1,000 people at the campsite at the time of the storm. National Grid says it's restored power to 90% of customers who saw outages after yesterday's storms. The company says